welcome to another episode of Cardinal Film Fights. I'm your wonderful host, Stephen Mason, and I'm also your wonderful judge, Stephen Mason. There's no difference. Here at Cardinal Film Fights, we do enjoy these three people who are our competitors for the day, and they will be in a battle royale for the best opinion. Here, tonight, we will be having a battle royale in the animation department. I hope you stick around and see what we all do. If you don't know the format, it goes like this. 1 minute will be dedicated for each fighter to give their opening statements on a general topic. 5 minutes will be decided and dedicated for each of the fighters collectively to decide which opinion is the best between all of them. And then 30 minutes, actually 30 seconds, will be dedicated afterwards for each individual fighter to say and close out their arguments, respectively. So, starting off, Nick. You're Nick.
Yes, I am Nick, last time I checked.
Give your name, your major, your year, and what bird would you be if you could be a bird?
Ooh. Well, you already gave it away to the audience that my name is Nick.
Surprise.
But for those of you who apparently are just now tuning in, my name is Nick Evans. I'm a junior TCOM major here at Ball State. I'm also the president and director of Cardinal Film Fights. This will be my return to the debate stage after getting trounced by Professor Catherine Gardner in Star Wars. If I had to be a bird, it would probably be an eagle. Normally when people do animals, it's like favorite animal, and then it's just a walrus.
That's boring.
But that's your opinion.
Yeah. Next is...
Hello, my name is Kimberly Holbrook. I'm a sophomore animation major, and if I were a bird, I'd probably be a scarlet macaw because I love to talk and I love bright colors.
As we all do. And round us off.
I'm James Ong. I'm a junior in the animation department, and if I were a bird, I'd probably be a parakeet, because everyone loves parakeets.
Incorrect.
That's your opinion.
When we think about animation, a lot of interesting names come to the forefront of your mind. Steve Jobs with Pixar, founding it after Apple let him go. If that's right, that's probably not right. Fact check.
Not entirely.
Horribly wrong.
We also think of Studio Ghibli with Hayao Miyazaki, but everybody else always thinks Disney. And you don't think Disney without Disney animated movies. So, fighters, what's the best Disney animated movie? We'll start on the end with James over there.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not that big a Disney fan, but I do like some Disney properties like Alice in Wonderland. Not the mediocre, 2010 movie with Tim Burton, but like the 1960s Alice in Wonderland, because it was very colorful, had a lot of fluid animation in it, and just overall it was just a fun experience just to watch.
Really went down the rabbit hole with Alice in Wonderland. Okay. I'm sorry, I had to do it to him. Kimberly, what's yours?
For my best Disney animated film, I chose Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is typically not a film people think of due to the fact that it is the only time Warner Brothers characters and Disney characters cross paths on the same screen. Not only that, but it was one of the only times that live action was married to animated film in such a seamless fashion that people actually believed that the characters they were seeing were real. And to top all that off, the director of animation ended up writing an entire textbook, which many people in the animation industry continue to use today. As a staple in animation, it's important to realize that animated film is not only for animation. It crosses paths with real life. And because of this, I find that it is the best Disney animated film.
You can really tell she's an animation major, folks.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll finish it off with Nick.
You're fired again. Kidding, man.
Go ahead.
Well, it's certain as the sun rising in the east. It's a tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. It's Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast in 1991 was nominated for Best Picture, back when the Oscars only did 5 nominees, losing to oh shoot, I forget what it was. I think not Cuckoo's Nest, but regardless, there has never been another time when an animated feature was nominated for Best Picture when the Oscars only did 5. I mean, Best Picture when the Oscars only did 5. Not only that, Beauty and the Beast has a long-lasting legacy as well, appearing with 2 sequels, a planned TV show that never went through, a Broadway musical, rides, attractions, meet and greets, merchandise. I mean, the freaking movie's everywhere. So, I mean, the legacy is Beauty and the Beast is never going to disappear from the modern pop culture.
A tale that's really as old as time.
And a song that's as old as rhyme.
I swear if you keep rhyming.
Beauty and the Beast.
Please stop.
No.
All right, you got 5 minutes on the clock, fighters. Go.
All right, so I kind of have a problem with Alice in Wonderland, and it's not because I think it's a bad movie. I don't think any of the movies here are bad. My problem is that Disney really didn't want to live up to the movie after it was released. It was released in 1951. It made $2 million roughly at the box office, which isn't a whole lot even for Disney standards, even back in 1951. I mean, this is after the war's over. Lewis Carroll fans didn't like it. It never aired on television during Walt Disney's lifetime, so it doesn't even really seem like he wanted to own it. There were 3 directors. It went through several different, I think one person in the studios described it as different directors were trying to one-up each other on their sets. So there's just too much conflict with Alice in Wonderland, and it has a 79% on IMDb, on Rotten Tomatoes, a 7.4 on IMDb. And the legacy of Alice in Wonderland is it's small. I mean, there's the 2 Tim Burton movies, but they're crap. There's not a big presence in any of the parks except maybe Disneyland Paris. So I don't see the legacy there. And Roger Rabbit, it's a great movie. It's critically acclaimed. It has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than mine does, I think. But again, it comes down to the legacy of what Roger Rabbit is. Beauty and the Beast is a movie that you can show it to your children at a young age. You can watch it when you're older. It's never going to leave.
Just because it's more marketable doesn't mean it's a better movie.
But it's legacy. But it's all about a legacy. What is the legacy of the movie? Roger Rabbit wasn't nominated for Best Picture. It probably wouldn't.
Because it was before that time, same as yours. It was
nominated for Best Picture. Mine was nominated for Best Picture, not Best Animated Feature.
If Despicable Me with the little yellow pill minions had a better legacy than Beauty and the Beast, would that make it a better movie?
I mean, I would say so. I mean, it's all about your legacy. I mean, the greatest movies are the ones that are the greatest movies never fade. That's why Episode 5 is the greatest Star Wars movie. It has a legacy.
No one has forgotten Episode 1 of Phantom Menace.
Yeah, because it's shit.
Exactly, but it has a legacy. So
there's a legacy of being shit, though. That's the difference.
Well, you
have a legacy of being the best in your class. I mean, if Beauty and the Beast were animated today and released, it would probably be nominated for Best Picture. Granted, in a field of 10, it would certainly win Best Animated Feature. I mean, I can't imagine except for Pixar, would deliver competition to it.
You're going off speculation right now. This is
I mean, but the point is that the reason why we have Best Animated Feature in the Oscars period is because Beauty and the Beast was nominated for Best Picture, and it scared the crap out of studios.
But did it really go out of its way to develop anything new? Roger Rabbit took on climbs that no other animation had done before.
Song of the South
did it. They had to develop machinations for people to actually use real-life objects that they would then animate with characters over it. For instance, Roger Rabbit spits out real water. They could have just animated that, but instead they went through all the steps that needed to be taken in order for him to spit real water.
Beauty and the Beast uses CG animation in its musical number, Be Our Guest, which I don't know how heavily featured CG was before 1991. I know Hercules did it in '97 with that.
It was Pixar's first time ever using CG.
Beauty and the Beast wasn't made by Pixar. It was made by Disney.
It was the studio before Pixar. The ballroom scene was made by the starting company that would become Pixar.
What was their name again? I forget.
I don't believe they had one before.
I think it was part of Lucas. It was part of Industrial Light, I think.
I'm sorry.
But no, you're fine. After you.
I just want to say, Kimberly, I like your pick. It's a great movie. It's got great rabbit in it. I won't consider it technically a fully animated movie. And
I have to agree with that.
And that's where the question comes in. But if you look through the animation, there's over 80,000 frames that had to be hand painted with 5 layers each going into each single frame. And because of this, the animated characters take up a majority of the screen time, with them actually taking the forefront of the film while the real people took the back seat.
I'm going, this is my last point for Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast won one of the Golden Globes. It was the first animated movie to win the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Now, obviously, we don't hold the Golden Globes as in high regard as the Oscars, but the Golden Globes are still considered part of the Academy Awards. I mean, they're still within the realm of the Emmys, the EGOTs, and all that stuff.
Quite a showing. All right, so I'm not going to stop you. Just make your closing argument now, dude.
All right. I'd like you all to be our guest and remember the fond times that you've had watching Beauty and the Beast, either with your parents or with your friends or with your partners, your significant others, or even if you're older, with your kids. And remember the legacy that you're passing down. One of the most technically sound animated features ever to be made by a studio, a film that has a legacy that will outlive any of its animators, and the awards to back it up.
All right, and Kimberly?
When you think of animation, a lot of kids will think of princesses, but that's not the case in what I would say the larger generation of animation lovers will think of. They think of Bugs Bunny, they think of Mickey Mouse, and nowhere has it ever happened where both appear on the same screen than Roger Rabbit. It's one of the biggest technically advanced films of its time, and because of that, it stands up even today.
And James?
Alice in Wonderland may not have the accolades you're talking about. It may have had a troubled history, but I was asked the best Disney film in my opinion, and I just have a very fond memory of Alice in Wonderland, and I don't think a person should have a title or like accolades or awards like skew their opinion of a movie just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good, and that's what I have to say.
I think that's always important to recognize that on this show. Like, we're debating this topic because we love the topic. We love every aspect of it. I mean, I don't hate Alice in Wonderland. I don't hate Roger Rabbit, and I don't think you hate Beauty and the Beast. We debate this because we love it. We love it objectively way too much. I think there's an Animaniacs joke about please get a Life Foundation for animation lovers.
It's probably in there somewhere. All right, fact checker, what do you got?
Yes, so about the computer-generated imagery in Beauty and the Beast, it was the second film after Rescuers Down Under that was produced using that method. And it was Pixar who helped out. I'm not sure what their name was at the time. It just says Pixar here. But and then to answer your question from earlier, Nick, Beauty and the Beast lost the Oscar to Silence of the Lambs.
Thank you.
And I think that's all I have.
Strong competition.
Gotta say, Silence of the Lambs probably outweighs Beauty and the Beast just a bit, in my humble opinion, at least. All right, for the judging, I think there's a clear third place with James. Sorry, man.
Good next time.
Yeah, next time. There's always next time. They raised some pretty good points that its earnings and its legacy kind of don't measure up to Roger Rabbit or Beauty and the Beast, and while your opinion was sound and heartfelt, their opinions are pretty heartfelt too. So third place for you, my friend. For second place, it came between legacy, and I had to admit that Nick's argument with Beauty and the Beast was pretty sound. So while Who Framed Roger Rabbit is technically impressive, its legacy is kind of underwhelming when compared to Beauty and the Beast. So that was the real deciding factor between it and Beauty and the Beast. So that's second place for Kimberly. And by the process of elimination, Nick, you are first with Beauty and the Beast. The fact that you brought up the legacy and that, yes, you can show it to people of all ages, and it's very echoing through the years, if you don't mind my metaphor.
No, I prefer Taylor's Oldest Time, though.
With this guy. And yeah, you made pretty good points. And Best Picture, I would not have guessed that.
First one to ever do it. First animated feature.
Really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So to recap, first, Nick with Beauty and the Beast. Second, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Kimberly. And running out with third, James with Alice in Wonderland.
You just had to twist that knife a little further.
Don't worry, I remember your name, James. So for all of us at Cardinal Film Fights, we welcome you next time. But tonight, good night and goodbye.
Don't forget to like, subscribe down below, or comments on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Goodbye.
Have a great rest of your night.